Hello and welcome to the Rest is Football question and answer episode with Micah Richards, Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker. Once again, thank you for sending your questions in. Has Pep and Manchester City now come to the end of their hold on the Premiership title? They say every dog has its day. Do other Premier League teams now know how to play them at their own style of play? I think we've seen quite a lot this season that teams will be braver against Manchester City, but that might be because they've not been as impressive this season as in other seasons, or have they been rumbled, Micah?
I think they have been rumbled, certainly. I think there was a Bournemouth game they was rumbled where they really did just attack them. Brighton as well. Obviously expect it from Liverpool because they're a top side in good form. The only excuse, and I have to give them a little bit of excuse, and it's not just Rodri. I think when you look at Man City, there's loads of players out of form. There's only really Haaland scoring goals, and he's not in the greatest form in terms of he's still missing a few chances. But I do think teams are figuring them out, certainly, and taking more risks. So, yeah, I think it's probably over for their charge for the title.
It's bigger than a Rodri problem. There's no doubt
Correct.
about that.
It definitely is. I agree with that, Al.
Start, bench, sell. Kevin De Bruyne, Steven Gerrard, Patrick Vieira. They're all very different players as well, aren't they? Who wants to go first?
Start Gerrard, sell De Bruyne, bench Vieira. Is that right?
If you want Patrick Vieira on the bench and to sell De Bruyne,
Gerrard's in.
I'd go Gerrard start, De Bruyne bench, Vieira sell. I mean, it seems ridiculous. Because there's no way I'm playing kind of a not as creative midfielder ahead of the other two.
It should have been someone like Keane, should it, really?
What,
because
Keane, Vieira.
Kevin De Bruyne is different to Gerrard.
They're all different, these three, aren't they?
They're all different.
Stop sitting on the fence and just give us an answer.
Mr. Creosote is back.
I think Gerrard's the best midfielder ever in the Premier League, so I have to start Gerrard. I'm going to bench Kevin De Bruyne and I'm going to sell Patrick. How ridiculous does this sound?
Sell your good friend Patrick Vieira.
Sell him.
I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast. And if he does, get him on, Micah. And we can tell him that you wanted him out.
No, so all of us starting Gerrard.
That's how great he was. Wow.
For club or country, if you could replay one game for the rest of your life, which would it be and why? I'd go Classico, probably. Scoring a hat-trick. I know I've not mentioned it for 2 episodes, so that was unbelievable. That gave me goosebumps.
Manchester derby. We went to Old Trafford and absolutely tore them apart.
Yeah.
What a game that was. And I imagine scoring 6 goals and I'm man of the match. Just think how good I must have been on that day.
What about you, Alan?
Oh,
It ain't going to be an FA Cup match, is it?
well, if I could replay, I would replay an FA Cup final and make sure we won it. I would go back to my 17-year-old debut.
Would you?
Hat-trick on my debut.
That's unreal, that, you know. Did you go big time after that, though?
No, I never scored for another 6 games.
No, but I mean, like, after the game, was you just going around the town? Because when I first made my debut, I was going around the town. I ordered a new car. I thought I was the man. I was loving life.
I was on £27.50 a week. I was on a YTS scheme. I couldn't afford the fucking petrol, never mind a car.
But you knew the big bucks were awaiting you. You know, you just have a different shoulders back, you go into training the next day and you're looking at the senior pros like, yeah,
The manager got me in the next morning to clean all the kit. And then I signed my first pro contract, I think, 2-3 days later.
I don't know if we've done this question before, but what did you guys, with your first pay packet, first decent one, what did you buy?
I bought a car.
What was it back then?
It was a Ford Escort, 1300L.
We weren't paid as well. It wasn't like your day, Mike.
Well, hold on. You know what? You know what annoys me about this conversation? We wasn't paid as well, but it's all relative to the time.
No. Believe
you
you
were still
me,
getting paid more than the average bloke in the street, was you not, Gary?
Yes, just about. But I signed at 18 for Leicester. For the next 3 years, I was on 100 quid a week.
My first was £225 a week, Micah.
There you go.
1988. And I signed a 3-year deal, and my signing on fee was $6,000 a year, so 18 grand as I got some, and that's why I bought my first car.
Class.
Things changed for me when I went to Barcelona, and then I was one of the best paid players in the world, because you are at Barcelona. And I was on, I don't mind sharing this, I think it's about £330,000 a year, which is obviously now what the top players would earn in a week. Just so it's not quite relative, even though that.
But house prices back then. I mean, you could buy a house for about 20 grand back in the days.
In Leeds, yeah.
It's like talking to
Just
one
a
of our
joke,
fucking
people from
children,
Leeds.
isn't it?
I know. I don't know why you just don't call us dad and granddad. Micah. Throughout football history, most, if not all countries have produced some exceptional talent. My question for you two geniuses and Micah.
Wow.
He knows
He
his
does say
stuff.
that.
What a genius.
Which countries do you think have produced the best talent in different areas of the pitch? Blimey. Goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and forwards. Well, forwards is easy. You just go Argentina. Messi and Maradona, I mean. Then you've got Brazil with Ronaldinho, Ronaldo and Pele.
Who asked this question?
Jason James.
I refuse to answer this question, Jason, you tosser.
I think you know your stuff, Jason. Well done.
Bit harsh, wasn't it? I don't know. I think if
Italians, defenders,
I was
no?
going to say the same thing. Yeah, Italian defenders probably.
Yeah.
Goalkeepers. About probably 30 years ago, you'd have said England, because you used to have like Peter Shilton, Ray Clemens before that, Gordon Banks, David Seaman after that. And in those days, you'd have said the one thing Brazil can't do is get a goalkeeper. And now they've probably got, well, they've certainly got two of the best in the world in Edison and Alisson. So it varies, doesn't it? It's just kind of, midfielders, I don't know.
France.
It's a pretty good shout. Zidane, Vieira, Platini,
yes.
and Germany as well.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Toni Kroos.
Mateus.
Yeah, Lautaro Matthäus, yeah.
Micah, I'm a huge fan.
Ooh.
I remember you bursting onto the scene at Manchester when I was a young lad, watching your ability to get up and down the pitch faster and stronger than anyone.
Yes.
Your endurance, strength, IQ and speed were remarkable. So I guess my question to you is, are Spurs better without Harry Kane? This lad knows how to get his question answered.
John Harry Bellends. That was you, lot, wasn't it? Is that a real question? God. I refuse to answer that question.
All right, it leads us on to the next question from Joe. With Harry Kane getting older, who do you think could potentially step up as the next England captain? Bellingham
Yeah.
or Rice?
I like it a lot, that question. Because you're thinking, do you go leader type where Bellingham seems as though nothing phases him and he's got that little bit of arrogance? Do you go with a defender, someone like John Stones who's done it? Do you go with Pickford, who's sort of a leader at the back, even though he's a bit bonkers at times? You know who I'd go?
Go on.
I'd go Saka.
I was going to mention Saka. I thought he's a possibility, but yeah.
Just because of his mental strength. Obviously, he's a top player as well. His mental strength, he's resilient.
Brilliant footballer. He's always going to play, even with this plethora of talent that England have got. It's not a bad shout, but I'd go Jude. Everyone says City are missing Rodri, but do you believe not replacing Alvarez is a big mistake, as he was very, very good at coming off the bench and scoring vital goals?
Well, didn't they try and replace him with Doku and Savinho, no?
Well, Doku had already been there for quite some time. Savinho came in, but they're different players, aren't they? Savinho's the wingers, whereas Alvarez... I think what he's saying is backup striker in many ways.
He started so many games, though, not so much even as a substitute, didn't he? He was a player that was on the starting sheet so many times. So, I would say that's been an issue for them, absolutely, yeah.
And he's scoring goals at Atletico as well, isn't he?
He's settling all right at Atletico. Took him a little bit of a while to get going, but he's doing well now. Yes, I understand his point, but City won the league without a recognised striker, didn't they? So bringing in Haaland was that other option that there was yearning for at the time. But the thing is with Alvarez, his link-up player was better than Haaland, and he could play as a number 9 too. So, yeah, I think for me, more than Alvarez, is Mahrez. Mahrez is the one. Because Doku and Savinho are good players, but even just like you showed on your analysis on Sunday night, Alan, they do the first bit ever so well. Yeah. So he beats him, lovely turn, and then the end product is just not there. Whereas Mahrez, at times, he could be frustrating because it feels like he needs a bit of a rocket up his ass because he's so cool and calm. But if you look at his end product, it was staggering. And that is the difference.
I was sat with Chappers on when we did Match of the Day on Sunday, and I was getting so fucking frustrated because he brought those two on, and a number of times they jinked and turned and went past the defender, got to the byline, and instead of just putting the ball in, it was come back and try and beat it. It was like, oh my goodness me, put the ball in for fuck's sake.
It's the most infuriating thing in the world for a striker.
Unbelievable, yeah. So they've definitely missed Alvarez, yeah.
Yeah, because Haaland has scored the vast majority of their goals. They're struggling to score too many from other positions, which has never been an issue before, has it? Yeah. Right. Do any of you have anything else on TV other than football?
What was the last one I watched? I watched Kin was the last one, I think.
Kin, yeah. I love Slow Horses. Succession. Ooh.
Is Succession good? I started it.
Is Succession good? Micah, have you not watched it at all?
No, but I started it. And it was a bit slow, and I was like...
It's comedic and funny and brilliant, I think. Yes. Once you get to know the characters and personalities in it. But have you seen Slow Horses?
No.
Watch that. That's fantastic. Oh, my word. I'm envious that you've not seen it yet. Gary Oldman. It's so good, isn't it?
Yeah, but is it young man's banter? I mean, there's
no.
No.
That's like, I think he's trying to say
you're all ages, you cheeky fucker.
That was his polite way of saying.
Come on, then. What's your recommendations, then, Micah? Come on.
The two greatest series of all time. Two.
Magic Roundabout.
Prison Break.
Great, agreed.
The first season of Prison Break is incredible.
Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad, it went up in waves, didn't it? It was extraordinary. Had a little bit of it wasn't even a dip. There was sort of enhancing the storyline. It got a little bit slower and then it finished magnificently. But the second, Game of Thrones. Wow.
Oh, you and Harry, fantasy football, now Game of Thrones.
It's magical.
Keep up with the youngsters, Gaz, come on.
Have you not seen any Game of Thrones, guys?
I tried it. It's not my bag. I'm not a fantasy. I don't like fantasy that much. Even fantasy football.
So what sort of fantasies do you like?
You can't ask an old man that.
He wasn't asking you, Al.
You know what I struggle with is that I have to sort of binge watch. If I start watching it, then I'll watch it all night and right throughout the night. I'll just have to put the next one and the next one and the next one. So, yeah. Kin was the last one I watched, and I really liked it. Yeah,
Tell
really
I
good.
loved it. The Golden Oldie, one of them. I used to, God, it was one of those you couldn't wait for the next thing, was 24.
24, yeah, I remember watching that as well.
Now
Yeah.
we're cooking on gas.
Oh, 24 in its day.
We're cooking.
That was one where I just couldn't. I just had to keep going again.
You
another
had
hour.
to keep
Yeah,
watching,
exactly.
didn't you?
Yeah.
That's what made me think of it when you said that. That was
24, I remember that. Yes.
Hi guys, do players watch football matches on match day before their own game? When we played, there was very, very rarely a game on television, so you didn't get the chance to watch it. Although in World Cups and stuff like that, you'd always watch the other games, but not necessarily would there be one on the day that you were playing. So what's the score with that, Micah? Did players watch in their rooms, watch the other match?
Yeah, we watch absolutely everything. I remember sometimes even going out as you're about to warm up, you've just got it on your phone. You have it in the changing room as well. And when players and managers say, no, we don't really, watch other games. We're solely concentrated on what we're going to do today. It's absolute nonsense. You're literally checking the scores before you go out. Even at half time, you're checking the scores as well.
Is that because they're all playing fantasy football?
Yeah, that's probably half the battle as well. But yeah, I think when they say that in the media, and there will be some players who don't care, and even some managers to a certain extent, but the majority of us are all keeping tabs of exactly what's going on.
I would do exactly the same if I was. I remember when we were going for the title at Blackburn, and we were all in the either if we were playing in the evening and there was a game in the afternoon or whatever, and it was on TV, and we were in a hotel. I would absolutely watch it and keep an eye on it. I think it's the right thing to do. It was for me anyway, mentally. So, without a doubt, I would.
Totally agree. I would have done as well, even if it was black and white, Micah. What was your biggest slump in football, and how did you react to it?
Well, mine was not scoring for England for 2 years.
Yeah, you reacted quite well to it in the Euros.
Did all right there.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Biggest slump. Oh, I don't think I had one. Micah? I did. I had lots of them. Very short ones.
Well, I can't say Villa because I didn't come back from the slump on the pitch. I'd have to say probably my first.
I didn't come back from the slump.
Did I? Probably my first injury for Man City when the first went into my knee, and then you sort of wondering, are you going to have your pace, are you your speed? And I know I take the piss out of myself a lot, but why I was so good when I was younger, I had good agility. After you go in your knee 3 and 4 and 5 times, it's difficult to have that sharpness. So I was worried after my first knee up, but I come back not so bad.
As players, can you remember a time when you were extremely annoyed at a referee's decision? Cool, lots of times I got a bit miffed. I won't say angry because I don't really have it. I've not got that red mist thing, but God, Diego Maradona punching it in the quarter-final of the World Cup would be, I think, quite high up there.
Let it go, guys. Let it go.
I have let it go. I mean,
have you?
Oh yeah, I let it go years ago. I mean, it's just one of those things the referee missed, but obviously it was painful at the time. But Terry Butcher, Peter Shilton, to name but two, they will never, ever, ever forgive Maradona for that. We did a documentary on the '86 World Cup, and we had quite a few of the players. Steve Hodge was there, Kenny Sampson was there, Terry Butcher, Peter Shilton, and well, those two. They're still absolutely fuming. I mean, particularly, I get it for Peter Shilton because it made him look a bit daft. I mean, at first you thought, how can a fella out-jump him and head it in when he's only 5'4"? But as a goalkeeper, he knows he's getting that ball unless something like that happens, and then he got away with it. So I can see why Schultz is angry and Terry Butcher's that kind of personality. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's one you got to move on. You got to move on.
Steve Hodges forgiven him, that's for sure.
Steve Hodges definitely forgiven him. I mean, if you don't know, claimed Maradona's shirt at the final whistle, which angered some of our players, by the way, when he walked in with it, going, "What are you doing with his fucking shirt?" But he knew what he was doing with his shirt.
What was it? What did it go for? 6 million quid later, or
7 million, wasn't it? 7 million. He should have shared it round the squad, really, shouldn't he?
Send him an invoice. It's always Argentina, England, Argentina, isn't it? Mine was the same. Was that in the World Cup in '98, wasn't it? When I think it was Sol Campbell scored. The ref gave a foul, I think, for me, didn't he? And we got knocked out on penalties because it was that golden goal time, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was a foul, though, wasn't it, Alan?
No, it wasn't a fucking foul.
That was easy.
Yeah.
You remember the referee Phil Dowd?
Yeah.
He was actually a very good referee, but again, typical away at Anfield. Someone has a shot, it comes off my foot onto my arm, and give Liverpool a penalty because the crowd, and he just absolutely bottled it. And then he admitted after he made a mistake.
Oh.
In front of the cop, was it by any chance?
It probably was. Yeah, I can't remember if it was, but it probably was. So Phil Dowd, I'm not slating you because I loved you as a referee, but you got that one wrong.
They all make mistakes. It's the linesman that used to get me when you know you're onside, and we were allowed to say linesman because they were back then.
Assistant referees, Gary.
Assistant referees now, but they certainly weren't then. I don't think I'd have ever called them anything as nice as an assistant referee back then. But when the flag goes up, you know damn well you're onside, because you generally know. Because I particularly the one in the FA Cup final. Oh, that was so annoying. That's so annoying to get that goal disallowed for offside. That watch it back. That was a yard onside.
Let it go.
Tottenham against Forest. I can't. That's yeah. Anyway, okay. Who has had the better career, Jamie Vardy or Harry Kane? One of them has won the Premier League, the FA Cup, Community Shield, and the Championship. I suspect Suyash might be a Leicester fan, and Leicester's finest. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I would say. I'd say Harry Kane. I mean, Harry Kane's if he hadn't have buggered off to Germany, he'd have beaten Alan's record.
He still might come back.
They're on course to win the title this season. He's banging goals for fun. He's had an incredible amount of goals over the years. I love Jamie Vardy as well. I mean, obviously, I'm a Leicester fan. We do. He's been absolutely incredible for Leicester over a long period of time. But Harry Kane's the record England goal scorer. So, and Jamie's only had a few England goals. So you'd have to give it to Kane, wouldn't you?
Do you think someone will beat your record, Alan, before you pop your clogs? Or do you think it's just going to be... Because no one's going to get nicked. No one's at a team for that long anymore. Even Haaland with his...
What about Salah? If Salah signs a new deal...
I'm not sure he'll catch you.
Don't know what years is he? What is he? 90 or something behind at the minute? Is he? So
he'd have to do 5 years, and then he'd be into his mid to late 30s, and I'm not sure that's going to happen, Alan.
No,
Haaland's probably the one if he sticks at City, but I suspect Haaland might move on at some point. But I might be wrong. I don't know. But he'd be the one, wouldn't he?
Kane also, Kane if he came back, depending when he came back.
I can't see him coming back. And he's how many shy is he?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, you know damn well how many he's behind.
40 odd, I think.
But answering the question, we all think Kane's the more rounded
he has
player.
to be,
and he's going to win the Bundesliga this year if Bayern carry on with their form. They've turned it around. They went on a good run, didn't they, in the league? So, we'd have to say, I think what Vardy's done is remarkable, but Kane's the better player.
That's it for this episode. So, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.